Hello everybody, we're working on our holiday card number 7. Today's card, I wanted to keep it kind of simple. So what we're doing is we're going to be embossing on vellum again. And I'm showing you here, I wanted to hide how I attach it on my card. So there's a 1/2 inch edge that I'm keeping on the outside of the embossing folder. So once I have it placed and set up where I want it on there, we're going to put it under 2 B plates on top of the A plate on the Cuttlebug. So I'm just going to put it together here. And then it's going to very easily just slide right on through. And I only do it once because I don't want it to wind up cutting the vellum instead of just embossing it. Alright, so now when we pull it out, you can see all of the detail. And then that edge is going to fold all over, and that's where we're actually going to attach it to the card. And then all I'm going to do is actually put a sentiment right in the center. I'm going to do Merry Christmas, and I decided that I wanted to emboss it, so I'm using the Ranger's silver fine detail embossing powder. And this EK Success powder tool, I've been having trouble getting the powder out. The best way is to just, I hit it on the table, and then when I flip it over, enough powder comes out that I can see it, whereas before it was always such a struggle. So now I'm going to ink up my sentiment, which is just Merry Christmas, and stamp right in the center. Now normally, because of the foam mat that I'm stamping on top of, if you already have it on foam, your sentiments, then you don't have to press as hard, but you just want to make sure you leave it there for just a few seconds so that the ink transfers. And now we're just going to sprinkle some of the embossing powder over the sentiment. And then after you flick a little bit, I just like to give it a quick little, just blow any excess embossing powder just to make sure it's, you know, there's none just hanging about. And because the embossing powder is so fine, I always try to close it up right away, because it'll be my luck, I will knock it over and it'll go everywhere. So we're going to heat up our embossing tool. With vellum, it's very important to heat it up so that way you minimize the warping. But just remember what I've told you in previous videos, which is if it does start to warp, just heat it from behind. That should help minimize the warping. And on this particular one, I think it's because of the embossing that we did in the folder, and then the heat embossing, it was just a little bit warped, but it's okay. Once I get everything done, we're going to get it attached to our card and start putting everything together. And for the most part, all the cards we do, unless I state otherwise, they're going to be A2 cards, which are the 5.5 by 4 1/4 is a standard size. And the decorative piece that we're putting on top, I cut at 4 by 5 1/4. And so what I did was, on the vellum sheet, I cut it 4 by 5 3/4, so I would have a 1/2 inch to score, and that would make it the same exact size. So right now all I'm doing is using my ATG tape gun to tape up the back of the paper, and we're just going to attach it to our card base. And because of the warping, it was laying a little, it was bumpy on top. But I decided to go ahead and put the rhinestones in place first, and then I'm going to show you a way that you can glue it down. So I just put 3 in the different sizes. I did small, a medium, and then a large rhinestone in each of those corners. And then see, when I hold it up, how it keeps lifting up. So I decided to grab my multi-medium matte glue and to use that to glue it down, because if any of it does seep out to the point where you could see it through the vellum, it dries matte, so it won't be shiny, it won't catch the light if by chance it does, you know, come out. So I'm just putting it behind all the solid objects. So the gems that we put on, I put some behind those, and of course towards the bottom, because that's where I want it to lay down flat. And I'm just pressing down so that way that glue that I just put on there will attach to the paper. And then after that, the card is done. Something just very simple. I love the silver. It goes really well with the paper underneath. And I hope you guys enjoyed this card as well. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button down below. And I look forward to seeing you in our next video. Alright, you guys, have a great day.